Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to all the students. So my name is Nurul Amalia Uthman. I'm a science officer of the Faculty of Agriculture. So today I'm going to talk about the laboratory safety in the faculty. So as you all know, as a science officer, I manage the laboratories and also it's my job to give you awareness on the laboratory safety. In faculty of agriculture, we have like 3 science officers assisted by the assistant science officer and also the operational assistant. Okay, without further ado, I will proceed to our slide presentation. I'm going to share you my slide. So okay, laboratory safety. All right. So as you all know, we have like 7 departments, consists of Department of Agriculture, Department of Aquaculture, Department of Land Management, which is located in Block B, Department of Animal Science, located in Block C, Department of Crop Science, Block D, Department of Plant Protection, Block E, and we have one department in main campus, which is Department of Agriculture Technology, and also Department of Agribusiness, also located in Block A and B. Okay, we have around, if you see in my slides, we have around a total of 102 work units, which includes teaching laboratories, research laboratories, service lab, and other facilities. Okay, so there are a total of 102 work units. It's quite a lot here in faculty. Okay, so in every lab, there must be a general safety regulations pasted in the like a door or at the wall, so that you all can read before you start any of the class. Okay, so please have a read of the regulations. Okay, what is laboratory safety? I'm going to explain you some on chemical management, also schedule waste management, environmental quality, clean air regulation, which I'm going to talk to you on fume hoods, high-end laboratory equipment, and also high-risk equipment, high temperature, high pressure equipment such as autoclave, furnace, okay, and also I'm going to elaborate more on incidents, accidents, and also emergency. ERT stands for Emergency Response Teams. We have specific teams so that if you have any emergency, you can call on this ERT team. Okay. All right, chemical management. Why do you have to manage the chemicals? Okay, you need to know the hazards due to chemicals and also chemical incidents, poisoning and disease, and also environmental damage. Okay, hazards of chemicals. Chemicals can be hazardous. What kind of hazard? So first, fire and explosion, its effects on health, and also it can damage the environment. Okay, so this is the example of the chemical poisoning. The first upper on the left is hexane polyneuropathy. the worker is unable to hold his head upright due to overexposure to mercury. Okay, we also have mercury, but then in a very small quantity. Okay, why do you have to manage chemical? Because it can result in environmental damage, which is chemical dangers, toxic environment, and polluted river, air. Okay, that's why you have to manage chemicals incorrectly. Okay, so this is the UPM website for ISO. So here, if you click in www.reg.upm.edu.my/eiso, you can log in as a student. The down part there, the green icon for the students. So in here, you can have like some other documents and also forms that you can print out. Okay, so here is the guidelines on chemical management, also laboratory management. All right. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the storage, on the usage, and also on the waste disposal. Okay. If you are involved in chemical laboratories, all right. So because there are various type of laboratories in faculty, most of them they use chemical in the lab. Okay. Make sure the chemical that you use is registered in the chemical register form, all right? Because this list we need to submit to the DOSH. DOSH meaning Department of Safety and Health, Selangor. Okay, so it is a compulsory list that we need to submit to them. All right, so make sure the laboratory staff listed in all the chemicals that you use in the labs. Sometimes students like to purchase chemicals, but then without telling the lab staff. Okay, so you need to tell the lab staff so that they can key in the list. Okay. All right. This is the chemical inventory. You need to state how many quantities that you use and how many quantity that you buy. All right, so that because we have audit it's an audit, of course. So they check every single bottle. All right, so for example, if you buy natrium hydroxide, like 5 bottles, and then you use it, so you need to fill in how many bottles that you use, such as 2. All right, so the balance will be 5 minus 2, 3. So there are 3 more bottles in the rack. Okay, so when the auditors come, so they will check the inventory card whether it is tally or not with the one on the rack. Okay, so please give cooperations in this matter. Okay. All right, chemical storage. Use sturdy cabinets and shelving for storage. Chemicals should not be stored on floors. Store chemicals away from direct sunlight, heat, or ignition source. Okay, and then avoid storing chemicals on top of cabinets, above your eye level. Okay, avoid storing chemicals on bench tops or in chemical fume hoods except during use. But then if you still don't have place to put your chemicals, you still can put in a bench, but in a container. Okay, so you need to put like a tray, so that if it is spilled, so it is not, I mean, spill on the bench or on the floor. So the chemical will still in the tray. Okay, so do not store hazardous chemical above eye level. I mean, like every chemical should not be stored above eye level. Okay, this is an example of chemical storage in physiology lab. So as you can see, there are good labeling. Okay, so here is an JST Department of Crop Science Physiology Lab. You see different colors for different hazardous group. All right. Okay, another example. Hazard category or class. Okay, we have class such as toxic, flammables, explosive, and several more. Okay, this is the filing. The laboratory officer in the lab, they need to follow the ISO. So they have like the form that I've told you before, chemical register and inventory card for the chemicals. We need to keep all the documents in the file. Okay. All right. So the left one is material safety data sheet. So if you have like a total of 100 chemicals in your lab, so you need to have 100 material safety data sheet. So each chemicals it have to have a own MSDS, material safety data sheet, or another terms is CSDS, chemical safety data sheet. It's a must in the lab, right? Why do you have to have a MSDS in the lab? So in case there is an emergency or accidents, right? So in the MSDS, they already stated on how to take care of the incidents or accidents such as spillage. If you have, if the chemicals go through in your skin, or you inhale any chemical, so it has like a kind of simple procedure in it, right? Okay, another MSDS. Okay, this is the inventory card I've told you before. You see the category and the label, the triangle red. So this lab, they put in like a one shape and color for the one group of hazardous. All right, this is an agriculture technology department, chemical storage. All right. So the label, you can see oxidizer, non-hazardous, and flammable. So the flammable chemicals, this lab staff, she labeled all the flammable chemicals with a pink square sticker, as you can see on the bottle, right? So you can put it by the category in the shelf, right? So this toxic, the blue stickers, corrosive, the green stickers. So even if all the chemicals are on the table, so you can automatically see the color, like the green or the blue. So, and then if you want to put it in the shelf, you already know. So rather than you need to scan, you know, to see what category is this. Okay, this is the example of the filing color coding. Proper chemical segregation is a must, right? Okay, schedule waste management. We have like a chemical waste, clinical waste, and also e-waste. Chemicals, you know, is chemical. Clinical, such as blood, tissue, plant tissue or animal tissue, a petri dish, and e-waste. E-waste, like batteries, lamps, lights, right? The bulb. Okay, so considered under e-waste. All right. This can be found in EIS or UPM, the website I've told you before. So it concerns on labeling, right? So I've put a round circle red D label. So it's a must. Okay, so in this store, storage, in the clinical store, we can store the waste until 180 days, which means around 6 months only. But in the labs, you can only store until 3 months only. So within the 3 months, you can transport the clinical waste or e-waste to the main storage. Main store is located behind the cafe in our faculty. There are one big building. In front of that stated SSTP. All right. So this is the form that we use to dispose chemical waste or clinical waste. SW stands for schedule waste. Okay. Schedule waste, let's say you have a clinical waste, so you need to label it SW404. 404 is for the clinical waste. Like if you want to dispose empty container, empty chemical bottle, so SW409. Okay, please ask the laboratory staff about the coding and the labeling, right? Okay, this is the building that I've told you, chemical waste store, SSTP. So in here, located behind this, behind the cafe, in here we have all those waste, chemical also in here, the clinical waste also in here, and also the e-waste also in here. All right, this is the picture of the inside of the SSTP. So different racks, different label, so that when you want to dispose it, so please refer to the SW coding, okay? So if you have a SW422 label, so please put on the racks of SW422. All right. So the e-waste, the blue bin for e-waste, the yellow bin for clinical waste. All right. Okay. So this is an example of irresponsible, kind of dispose, right? You see, this is a clinical waste disposal, all right? So this is not supposed to happen. You need to put it in a blue bag and autoclave it and dispose it through the clinical waste. Okay. All right, MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet. I already explained to you just now. Okay, this is the Ghs Hazard Programs. You can see this symbol in the bottle, in the chemical bottle. GHS stands for Globalized Harmonized Symbol, okay? So we have explosive, flammable, oxidizing, compressed gas, corrosive, toxic, harmful, health hazard, and also environmental hazard. This is the new symbol, okay? So we have also like the old previous symbol, the orange one. Okay, now we didn't use it already, so we use the new pictogram, okay, with the square with the diamond red color, not the orange one. Okay, this is the general safety procedures. You need to minimize the exposure of the hazard, and then if you can substitute the chemical, the hazardous chemical, and if you cannot substitute, you can use the engineering controls, or you can practice a good laboratory practice and use a safe equipment. Also, a must for every personnel, you need to use a correct PPE, okay? And lastly, the safety signage. All right, how to minimize the exposure? Requires the full cooperation from everyone in the lab, all right? Okay, so you can read it in my slide. chemical substitution. I'll give you an example, okay? Like in DNA staining, they used to use ethidium bromide, which is carcinogenic, okay, to stain the DNA. But now you can substitute it with another chemical which is not carcinogenic, such as gel red. So rather than you use ethidium bromide, you can use gel red, okay? Engineering controls. Engineering controls such as chemical fume hood. So you can see fume hood in the labs used to, if you want to do any chemical that have a volatile, so you can use it, you can use the fume hood. All right, this is a picture of fume hood. So it can protect your skin and also your eye. Okay, work practice, a good work practice. First, the purchasing chemical. You can purchase the chemical in the small quantity, just for your work, all right? Okay, good general housekeeping. Please don't, please after every experiment, please keep it tidy, right? So put back all the equipments, put back all the beakers, the glassware and everything. Okay. Transport of chemical, carrying chemicals from one place to another using a carrier, a wheel cart, or if you have it, elevators. Okay, working alone or working during off hours. Please don't, I mean, you should avoid working alone, right? So if anything happens, at least you have your friend to report any emergencies. Okay, this is the safety equipment. In the lab, we have eye wash units, we have fire extinguisher, we have like a warning system such as the bell, all right? The telephone system, you have the emergency numbers posted in all laboratory telephones. We have also the spill control kits, right? So if you spill any chemical, you just use the spill kits. Okay, PPE, personal protective equipment. Eye protection such as glove, lab coats, aprons, hand protection, you can use gloves, other clothing considerations, and also respirators. Okay, this is the safety signage. Right, incidents or accidents, emergency. ERT stands for Emergency Response Team. Okay, one of the common accidents happen in the lab is chemical spill. Okay, so but in every lab, sharing lab, we already prepared a spill kit, so that is an easy kit to use, so that if you spill any chemicals, you can use just the kit. All right, this is the example of the spill kit. All right, this is permission to work in the laboratory after office hour. We advise the students to use the lab only only during office hour. But if you can't, if let's say you need to stay for overnight, for your experiment, so this is the form that you need to use. All right. So please get a sign from your supervisor and also the head of departments. Okay. Okay, this is the phone number for the emergency. Most of them are posted in the lab. So if any emergency happens in the lab, please make sure you inform the lab staff, and also directly you can call the number, right? Okay. I think that's all. All right. Next, there'll be a safety video from, I think, from Merck. So it's a very good video, and you can watch it later. So please, if you have any questions, you can email me at Nurul Amalia, NURUL amaliah@upm.edu.my. If you have any questions you want to ask regarding the lab safety, you can contact me through my email. Okay, that's all, and thank you very much.